Welcome back to Talos Principle 2. I'm Dear Darling, and why are we here? What truth awaits us? Why don't we answer more of these questions together? Well, last time we have spent about 30 seconds looking at this level, determined it's not something I could do in the short amount of time we have. So we've started the next episode to look around. The general concept I have is that we should be trying to... Why is this pressure plate so wide? But the general concept I think we have is we are trying to get anything through this gate why start the level out like this actually? Anyway, trying to get anything through this gate to weigh down these pressure plates as well, because we have one cube. I thought it would be another cube, but it does not seem to be the case. So maybe what this thing is, it's a return chute for a cube, which is an interesting concept. What I find most interesting is the fact that it gives us this connection already with this red laser. Is it meant to teach us that, yeah, things can go through there? Maybe, I don't really know. Well, we don't even have a cube with us. Why do we need another cube? Like, why would we need? Because what it seems like to me is we can kick this cube, we can put it through here through the tunneler, we can hold it down with a connector, grab the cube, we have it over here. Open this up once again, put this here, stand on it to launch it through there with a tunneler. Take the tunneler once... No, we'd have to weigh it down or something. Well, take the tunneler over there, I guess this would still be open. We launch it again with a fan, and it would take the cube over to that side. But why would we want to do that, is basically my question. So the answer is probably we don't launch... I don't know if we can launch the connector through here, though. I don't even know if we can launch a cube through here. I guess that's something maybe we should experiment with. We should see what happens when we launch a cube on the fan. Interestingly, we could do a laser through there as well. I wonder if it makes any sense whatsoever how a laser's there. But, okay, so for now, this makes no sense to me why we want the cube on this side. It seems like it's further from our goal, if anything, but we might as well experiment with what this could do. Because maybe there's a chance that this is correct. I was just seeing if there's anything over here. Because if there was a cube in here already, it would make sense to me. But there's not. So I'm just kind of like, what? But does this launch... Okay, it does. Perhaps unsurprising. But then you can do this, and you can grab the cube. Oh, we actually need two tunnelers, so we have to grab the cube from that side. So we done this. And we get the cube. But why? Has achieved nothing for us. So I guess... Can we do it? By doing that... Oh, I just thought of it. I think I understand now. I think what we need is we need the cube over here because we need to push... We don't send the connector through there. We do send the cube through there as per usual, but we need to bring the connector through that hole. We basically need them to change places, which is probably why I think the level started with a connector going through this laser, is to make sure that the player absolutely knows for certain that the connector can be set up through purple gates. So you might be like, what are you talking about? Basically, the only time we use the connector is for this, right? It doesn't need to do anything else except for keep that thing open. But this cube, on the other hand, was useful for holding down that button because the tunneler couldn't simultaneously hold down the button, which is why it's tucked away in the corner, and get a sight on the wall, which is what we needed to get the connector over. But the connector can't be sent, I assume, over this. But the cube can. Interesting. So I was actually right about the premise. I was just sort of a little bit incorrect about the solution. Or the other way around, I don't know. There you go, not too difficult. It's actually quite a simple one, all things considered. I feel like it's just one map. Solve loop without doing multiple circles.
One K solved all the puzzles in this area, but nothing happened. There was a brief blip in the system, though. Maybe it'll do something later. There has to be some sort of point.
There might not be. Wait, you can do multiple loop circles? Like this? No? What do you mean by doing multiple circles? How do you solve loop by doing... I don't really know. To be honest, what? I guess I did it with an unintended solution? Because I got achievement. How very strange. Okay, we still have a few question marks, interestingly, on our map. Which I'm not really sure what that's meant to mean. I guess we might as well check them out while we're here. It's not like we're going to be returning to this world all that often, methinks. So like, there's a question mark over here. I'm assuming this question mark is probably a log. Yeah, look, that looks like a log over there. Whoa, palm reader, okay. The New Theology. From A New Theology by George Bernard Shaw, the object of a whole evolutionary process is to realize God. That is to say, instead of the old notion that creation began with a God, a personal being who, being perfect, created something lower. There's so many comments in that sentence. Created something lower than himself. The aim of a new theology is to turn that process the other way and to conceive of a force behind the universe as working up through imperfection and mistake to a perfect organized being having a power for fulfilling its higher purposes. Why have you written that all as one sentence? I didn't even consume like what the information was from it. That creation began with God. Behind the users working up through imperfection and mistake. Okay, I see. So it's like, rather than starting from the basis of perfection, is understanding where you're starting from imperfection and correcting mistakes as you go to try and achieve perfection. In a sense, there is no God as yet achieved, but there is that force at work making God struggling, though struggling through us to become an actual organized existence, enjoying what to many of us is the greatest conceivable ecstasy. The ecstasy of a brain and intelligence, actually conscious of a whole, and with executive force capable of guiding it to a perfectly benevolent and harmonious end. That's what we are working to. Okay. From The Lives of First Companions by Randolph, 777. After these events, Niamh decided to consult the writings of the ancients, but while philosophy and religion interested her, it was art in all its forms that came as a revelation. To her delight, she discovered that meaning was not something constructed purely out of logical will, but that it could also be found in stories, and that even when the characters and events of a story were not factual, they had validity and weight, as if they were somehow real after all. She was astonished that such a profound experience was freely available to all humans, but concerned that too few took advantage of it. So she set out to enrich the inner lives of her fellow citizens by promoting the arts, starting with a legacy of Gehenna, so this is her discoverer of the arts. Niamh sounds nice. I would love to meet her one day. She must know more about New Jerusalem art history than anyone. When we do, remind me to explain how to pronounce her name. The default settings in the language libraries is wrong. Oh, interesting. How did she get her name if the language libraries pronounce it wrong? Anyway, from the Introduction to the Leviathan by Thomas Hobbes, nature, the art whereby God has made and governs the world, is, by the art of man, as in many other things, so in this also imitated that it can make an artificial animal that also has many comments in it. Foreseeing life is but a motion of limbs, the beginning whereof is in some principal part within. Why may we not say that all automata, engines that move themselves by springs and wheels as does a watch, have an artificial life? For what is a heart but a spring, and the nerves but so many strings, and the joints but so many wheels, giving motion to the whole body, such as was intended by the artificer? Art goes yet further, imitating that rational and most excellent work of nature, man. For by art is created that great Leviathan called a commonwealth, or state, in Latin civitas, which is but an artificial man, though a greater stature and strength than the natural, for whose protection and defence it was intended, and in which the sovereignty of artificial soul, as giving life and motion to the whole. Lastly, the pacts and covenants, by which the parts of this body politic were at first made, set together, and united, resemble that fiat, or the "let us make man" pronounced by God in creation. It's obvious that Hobbes had read Stratton and is extrapolating the Talos principle to the level of a state, but unlike Stratton, all he wishes for at the end of the day is a powerful ruler to control this machine, to tell him what to do. Interesting. Is that like a behind the scenes look of it? Are there any more question marks? I don't see any more question marks. We're still at Golden Gate, but again, the Golden Gate is not... I mean, I wonder if the Golden Gate opens by all the switches that we could close. Where is the Golden Gate? Did we not find it? So what's this sun thing? Is this the sun thing? This is the sun thing. What is this? Oh, is this the thing with the numbers on, like 2258 or whatever? No? Is that the monolith? Maybe not exactly. We need to find a sign. Where is such Golden Gate? In this direction. Okay. You got anything to say to us, Byron? Hello.
Hey, 1K.
What do you make of his Miranda?
Going on what little we have, honestly, she reminds me of myself when I'd just been born.
Ah.
I came out from the dam at night, and the sky was full of stars.
That's beautiful.
I felt a reverence then, an almost ecstatic connection to the sublime.
Have they any of them mentioned
the universe seemed like a miracle.
if they know who Miranda
And to
is?
exist within it was
So
the
she's not one of the
greatest
1,000?
possible honor. That view was tempered in time, but I've always tried to hold on to as much of it as I could.
That's all. Yeah, because none of them have been like, oh, Miranda, yeah, that's like the person number whatever's, right? So she's not one of the original 1,000. It's an interesting thought. I also don't know if we know where the gate is. Like, I don't know if we've actually run into the Golden Gate yet. Interesting, the gate is this way. But there's no question mark for it. Oh, but there is a question mark over there. That seems quite far away, though. Oh, someone over here to talk to. Alcatraz, hello. Hello? Oh.
I've been meaning to talk to you.
Oh, sure.
This, vision you had, the data stream overload. How did it feel?
Strangely beautiful, unpleasant at first and beautiful, frightening, threatening. It's just data, I can't explain it. Unpleasant at first and beautiful, how about that?
Don't you worry that maybe your first impression was correct? And after that, your mind was basically being hijacked?
Like I have no free thought or will? It felt more like my mind was being expanded. I think it was beautiful anyway. I think I made contact with something. How about that?
Just don't take this too lightly, okay?
You know, that's fair.
We're sturdier than our ancestors, but a mind is still a fragile thing.
As long as I'm a person controlling a robot, I think we're okay. I want to talk about something else.
Go ahead.
Oh, no I didn't. I would have promised to be careful, that was it. Okay, so, hold on. Where is the gate? It's just led us back here. I guess it must be over here somewhere, right? There's no question marks, though. I wonder what happens when you go too far out. That must be the gate. Or not. Don't really know what this is. Is there a too far out? Oh! Interesting, two things have lit up. So is this we have to do all of the bonus missions, essentially? Because we've done 2 of the bonus missions thus far. How many worlds are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I bet there's 6 worlds. This is the for bonus, we had to complete all the levels, so we had to do all the bonus ones. And this one is probably like secrets or stars we have to find. We had to find all the stars in the worlds to open up the golden gates. Because there were other things on the map. What is this? Inspect remains. Discovery. Discover ancient human artifact. A radiator. Unlike ourselves, our ancestors could only survive in a limited spectrum of temperatures. Devices such as this allowed them to artificially create conditions that allowed them to thrive. It's true. Progenitor portrait series. Oh, beautiful. Hi, everyone. What are you? I'm trying to look at what your profile picture is, but I can't. Hi everyone, this is my latest portrait series. I always had a deep respect for progenitor Alexander Jenin. She didn't just create the found and save humanity. She also tried to instill us with a good sense of beauty and wonder. It was good to be human, Alexander Jenin. As usual, please keep in mind that we should focus on engagement with the work. Don't ask yourself whether it's good or bad, but how it makes you feel. Makes you feel a sense of wonder, I think. Beautiful work, Rodam. Gives me bittersweet, wistful feeling. She must have been a great person. To me, it really captures her bravery in the face of what Cosmos had thrown at her. It's well done, but I'm not sure it's appropriate for us to depict her progenitor in this way. Really? It's important to remember she was a real person. You're painting with her belief in a bright future. Her bravery in face of death. We shouldn't forget other people contributed. This painting makes me sad. Her belief in a bright future. Your painting powerfully evokes her belief in a bright future. Thank you, 1K. She really did believe we would build a better world, didn't she? Her words always inspired me. Vedi, you should try listening more carefully. She wanted us to reach for the stars, not mope around worrying about the sins of our ancestors. The progenitor spoke in metaphors. The stars are within us. Give me a break. Let's not derail this thread, okay, thanks? Niam is the one mentioned, the art historian, right? Mystery Miranda. Touch grass. Read 10 social media entries, excuse me? For anyone who missed it, Byron's expedition has recovered evidence of the existence of another person. Someone not from New Jerusalem. Who could this be? What does this mean? Maybe there's another city out there. Who says there was only one simulation? Maybe there are thousands of people we've never met. I really hope so. There's only one founder. I hate to agree with Fekler. But all historical evidence we have points to a conclusion. And there were some other attempts, but as far as we know, they all went wrong or failed. There's more that we don't know than there is that we know. That sentence is going to make my brain crash. Why do we think Miranda's from Earth? There's no evidence to support that idea. I really don't think it's alien tracks. Everything here is obviously related to New Jerusalem. I'd like to hear about the other attempts. I don't know why that's such a sassy response, that one. Some people affiliated with the Institute of Applied Pneumatics tried to set up a secondary site at another dam, but after about a century the dam collapsed and took whatever was happening inside the system with it. There was a similar attempt by another organisation, but without the test of free will that Alexander Jenin had devised, according to Le never produced a viable human mind before it ran out of power. So this must be the one that was talked about by Euphystarix, or whatever his name is. No, that's not his name, but the person who caused a lot of deaths, right? Could there still be others out there? What's that, like, alien space theory that, like, the space is so large, where is all the aliens? Theoretically, yes, but even our dam would have collapsed without extensive repairs, and even a nuclear power plant would have run out by fuel by now. Perhaps not fueled by conventional means. I guess we should probably try and keep an eye out on stars and stuff. I mean, exploration things, again, never really been my strong point. It's a big ravine, let's not fall into it. I don't really want to go through the gate yet, because I don't think we have enough time to. So if I can, at least very quickly. Because there were 2 stars that appeared on the map, it was just like, there's another thing to do. If I can very quickly run over here to get this. I don't know how I didn't see it initially. Because that's level 2 right there, isn't it? That is. The stars to open the gate. Oh, wait, maybe those gate things were switches, because didn't we... What is that going on over... Oh, no, that's part of the bridge connection. Because didn't we also flip 2 switches? I don't know. Wild Spirit. What is that that drives historical processes? It's easy to dismiss the idea of a great man, or of a great woman for that matter, when clearly so much is determined by resource distribution, pre-existing political structures, and the randomness of the universe itself. But is there no space at all for individual in all this? Are there not moments when, in Hegelian fashion, an individual may represent the world as spirit itself? Was Napoleon history on horseback or not? Or is that another form of determinism? I don't really know what you're saying, to be honest. From Augustus to Napoleon, from Lincoln to Lenin, there are individuals whose actions seem to drive rather than merely be driven by history. They make bold choices for good or ill that transform entire societies. Or do they? We like to blame them for failures, but are they not ultimately just the expression of a historical moment? Oh, okay. Right. So it's sort of like you're flipping the script on someone did something which caused a historical moment, but it was a historical moment that was done by some... historical moment was done by them rather than... I'm not sure I really agree with your perspective, but interesting. But they are, where is the space for human agency? Sometimes seem to me that all of human history has been that one struggle, to carve out a space for free choice against the tides of history, and heroes and tyrants, pick and choose examples as you will, are both equally a reflection of that. Our greater goal, then, ought to be to extend our freedom to a maximum number of people, to become captains of our own fate as much as that is possible in this universe. I mean, interesting perspective, but I feel like this final conclusion is based off a premise I don't really agree with in the first place. I mean, I guess if it's coming from a free will perspective. Okay, so it's coming from a perspective of, like, what if we didn't have free will, right? Then those events are of sort of like deterministic, and then the people have more the expression of it rather than people making a choice for that event to happen in history, which I would also argue from a practical standpoint of our own interpretation are fundamentally still the same, at least from our perspective, right? It's a thing of free will, is that, at least from my perspective, it is like, no matter whether we have free will or we don't have free will, it has no sort of like bearing in that matter. Like it's expressed itself the same through our and everyone's lives. Like I guess what I mean is an impossible question. While it's fun to think about, there can definitively feel like there can never be an answer. But yet, I'm not like perhaps good enough at philosophy to counter-argue that. Hypatia's Journals. From Hypatia's Journals, Volume 1, The Founding of New Jerusalem. Day 14. Melampus and Yemo went back to the dam to get more charging equipment, and they've not returned yet, which means that they have stretched a little thin, since we're still posting guards at all times. But those large herbivores haven't come back yet, and at any rate, Eustathius assures us they're non-aggressive. Oh, so Hypatia was with Eustathius. We might have known that already, actually, but it's better not to take any chances. Not on so few of us, and so many of them. Athena and Cornelius and Eustathius spend most of their time drawing up plans and arguing, in a friendly manner, but arguing still. The rest of us are managing to tune them out pretty well. It's like background noise after a while. We started construction on the first habitat. It's going to be a temporary structure for now, but we'd all be glad to get out of the rain. Oh no, wait, hold on. I thought for some reason Eustathius was part of a different tribe. But no, they were just one of the early founders, right?
So, what are you doing here, Trevor? Why are you trying to save the world? Well, look, I think humanity is awesome. I love humanity. As a species, we're great.
I think we can try and find some stars, I suppose.
Pretty mixed, but have you seen everyone else? I mean, what did you do today, animal? Oh, I ate some leaves, sniffed my own butt, crapped myself, and went extinct. Or, you know, I tore this other animal limb from limb, sniffed my friend's butt, crapped myself, and went extinct. They really don't do anything interesting. I mean, you don't see animals directing Big Trouble in Little China. Birds can go tweet, tweet, but it ain't exactly the White Album. I mean, they can't even make a good cheeseburger, for Christ's sakes. They have no art, no cuisine, no pleasure. Animals are nice to look at.
Oh, I mean, animals have pleasure in there anyway, right?
Except maybe a cat.
I was actually thinking about the same thing. Like, being a house cat would sound like... Well, I don't know if it'd be a great existence necessarily. I mean, it'd be a pretty comfy existence, but is that, like... Is comfort all we strive for? I guess is a greater question in there. I think on that note, we're going to round this episode up here, where next time we'll be delving into whatever is held within this monument, and seeing, I suppose, what more riddles the Sphinx might have for us. But for now, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Talos Principle 2. I've been dear darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now. I still wonder what about that golden door, though.